Go back to the seat. Sit down and be ready. Sit down. Stop talking and stop talking. What will we do for the field trip? We have to switch between fast skin tank battery and high bond. High bond, they will work on Saturday, so they will work all Saturday. We cannot go there. We will go to fast skin tank battery instead. Have you been to fast skin tank battery before? Already? How many of you go there? Fast skin tank battery. Steve, did you go to fast skin tank battery before? Fast skin tank battery. Have you been to tank battery before, somewhere in Midland? That have several tanks. Some tank battery in Midland. You haven't been there before. Not to the tank battery. So when you go to the tank battery, we need full PPE. Full PPE means you need hard hat, safety glass, steel toe shoes, FRC. Okay, that blue thing. And if you don't have anything, you should have because you purchased it 2 years ago, right? If you don't have anything, go to see Mr. Bullard Friday morning. Question on this. You have question? You still have question?
No, we're good.
Are you good? We leave at 6, okay? 8:30, arrive at Fast Skin Ranch Quick Store. If anyone need restroom or something. So that is the address. If you drive by yourself, how many of you drive by yourself? Taylor Cooper, you drive by yourself?
Yes, sir.
Did you talk to Mr. Bullard about that? And you know the direction, right? Everything is fine. Okay, who else drive by yourself? You might already be there. So that is, we meet over there at 8:30. And then we go to the tank battery location. Okay. 11:30, we leave the fast skin tank battery, go to CSI compressor, take a look at compressor. 3 p.m., leave it. And then arrive at Lockdock at 5 or 5:30 or something. When we are at the battery, tank battery, we really need full PPE, okay? So that it complies with all the law. Good? No question? No question, right? Yes, question. Snack? Snack? TA will go pick up donut in the morning at 5 a.m. You have donut and coffee, okay? That's donut and coffee. Update on the syllabus. The first thing that I update is TA time, okay? I found that if I have TA time 3 hours on Wednesday, you cannot really get help from him. So TA time will be on TA time will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 to 12. Okay, so if homework assigned on Tuesday or Thursday, you still have some time to go meet with TA. In case that you cannot do it, all right, go meet with TA. So for example, tomorrow you can go and get help from Arya. Also Monday before the homework due. Okay, that is PE room 241. The next part is about classroom policy. The top part, we talk about the general idea that okay, we respect each other, but what do we do specifically? For the best possible education of all students, including the person who does not pay the full attention to the lecture. The action that interfere with the learning and teaching process, including but not limited to taking talking in the classroom with other students. Talking on the cell phone, using laptop, playing games and email, do online shopping, blah, 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 are subject to the following penalty. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So, the purpose of this is for all of you to get the best education for yourself. Okay. Who know about the tuition fee? Who paid tuition fee by yourself? Anyone? Couple of you. Next to Rohan, what's your name, sir? Jared. How much they cost for 4 credit hours?
I mean, it goes up and down depending on, but it's probably about 4 or 5 grand a semester.
4 or 5 grand. That's what you paid. I want you to get that much amount of education in return. Okay? It's a must that you get as best education as possible. And I do not allow you to harm yourself in any way. Of course, when you don't pay attention, let's say you shopping online, you just keep clicking. It's not quite distract me at all. It doesn't distract other students, but I do not allow you to do online shopping during the class time, okay? Because that interferes with your self-learning process. It doesn't make you get the full education as you should get, okay? So I do not allow you to do that. We have several procedures and penalties. Number 1, student may be requested to stop the unwanted action that interfere with his/her own learning process, other student learning process, or instructor teaching process. I may just ask you to stop. Number 2, student may be requested to meet with the instructor after the class to find a solution for stopping the unwanted action that interfere with the learning teaching process. You may be asked to meet me after class to find out what's going on. Number 3, student may be requested to change the seat as appropriate as decided by the instructor. For example, you may be asked to come to sit in the front, somewhere over there or something. Student may be requested to write a classroom civility statement to state that he or she will not interfere with the classroom again and may need to agree to receive a penalty on the course score if the unwanted action occurs again. This penalty is to be decided by the instructor as appropriate. Number 5, student may be requested to leave the room and do the 800-word report and will be counted as one absent, depending on the decision of the instructor as appropriate. I may just ask you to leave. Okay? Number 6, the student may get an additional penalty of 1 point on the total course score if the unwanted action or unwanted interference to the student education occur twice in one lecture session. Number 7, the student may get an additional penalty of 5 points from the total score if unwanted interference to student education occur as a second time during the semester. Or the student may get the grade of F for the course regardless of his performance if the unwanted interference occur as a third time during the semester. The above penalties are listed from the lowest to the highest severity. The first 3 penalties are for the first occurrence of the unwanted action. The 5th and 6th penalty are for second occurrence of the unwanted action. The 7th penalty is for the 3rd and 4th occurrence. The 8th penalty is for the 5th occurrence. Okay. Let's say you do something bad 3 times. I may just give you F. I may just give you F because you may get F. But I don't want to do that. This is the guideline for myself. What will I actually do? I will just ask you to meet me. Okay. All this depends on mitigating circumstances. If the student expresses the approach and stop the unwanted action in the classroom, he she may subject to less severity of the penalty. Aggravating circumstances, if the student does not comply with the above rules, such does not submit the classroom civility statement in 3 days, do blah 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 blah. If you do something bad, the penalty go up. Okay. Or the instructor reserves the right to assign a seat that is closer to the front for the student if that is help for him or her to concentrate more on the lecture. even though that student may not have done any unwanted interference to the learning process. Good. I may just ask some of you who sit in the back and keep talking right now to just come sit over there. And you will do so. If you don't do that, I will ask you again. I will ask you again. If you still don't do that, I give you F. Good? Alright. Is this fair enough? Or is too much? I don't treat you like a dog. Or you don't treat me like a dog, or what? It's good? You have some announcement? We talk about fasting tank battery and the syllabus, just that. That's good?
Yeah. When we're on the Fasken Ranch, Tommy Taylor is the manager for Fasken Oil and Gas Energy. Y'all be sure to tell him thank you because he filled in on very, very short notice on a cancellation we had. He's a real good friend of Texas Tech, real good supporter, so we need to be sure
to thank him. Okay. Be sure to thank him. Clap your hand or something, okay? I'll do both. Alright, last time we finished the separator thing. Mr. Bulat, may I ask you to go sit in the back over there if you don't want to? Yeah, sit next to who's that? That corner somewhere behind Victor, so he will have more encouragement on this course and he'll get the best possible education for himself. Maybe.
I will find out what the benefit is.
Okay. Are you ready for the quiz? Who are not ready for the quiz? Anyone not ready for the quiz? 2, 3 of you. Let's talk about the quiz a little bit so that you will be ready. Okay. We are about to have quiz and what's your name? No, next to you. What's your name? Levi. What is the formula structure for ethylene glycol? Do you remember that? Ethylene glycol. OH, line up, line down, line up again, and then another OH. That is monoethylene glycol. Look like this. OH, up, down, up, OH. Can you memorize this? That's monoethylene glycol. Okay. So if you have that question, you should be fine. What else about? We talk about the actual velocity and actual velocity and Q, right? Actual velocity and standard. Actual volumetric flow rate and standard volumetric flow rate. This line. Okay. So based on gas law, that line, or you have to start from gas law. PV equal to Z N R T. Taylor, no, not Taylor. Levi, did you review this?
I did. This morning I did.
Oh, okay. Are you ready for this?
I didn't review the second part though, the V1 over V. Yeah.
How do you talk up with this equation? This come from PV equal to Z N R T, right?
Yeah.
You have to start from that. And at the standard condition, T is what? 460 plus 60. That's in Röntgen. P is a pressure 14.73 or something.
Yes, sir.
When you start from that, you may need to get that or something else. The quiz may not be identical to this. Okay. So we will have quiz in a little bit. Okay. Let's talk about the part that we left last time. About this equation. Okay. W equal to 1440 V over T. The unit of W, where's the unit of W? So that is W in barrel per day. Okay. Equal to 1440 volume in barrel over time in minute. That is the retention time. Okay. So this means if we know the retention time, we can calculate the liquid capacity of the separator. Right? if we know the retention time. We can use the chart, or we can use this formula directly. Okay, W equal to something 1440 V over T. So if we know volumetric flow rate, we know the volume of the separator for the liquid part. We can also calculate retention time, right? Can we? So this means that in any of these, you can, when you know the settling volume, let's say settling volume equal to 0.65 barrel. When we know that, you will be able to calculate retention time, given that we know the flow rate. Good? So if we need the retention time of 1 minute, retention time of 1 minute, okay. 1 minute retention time. How much that separator can handle based on this equation. So I put 1 minute over there, and that volume, I put 0.65. So 0.65 multiplied by 1440, that give me the volume capacity. Good? Very easy. So it's just a unit conversion thing. Okay? You can also use the chart. Alright, that's variable there. Okay, we done with the separator. And you will see more separator this Saturday. Memorize the date, okay? Don't just forget about it or sleep over the clock or something. Next one. Heat treater. We will talk about the emulsion, okay? A little bit and then do the quiz. Emulsion, it is a mixture that is stable enough, and gravity alone doesn't separate it from each other, okay? That is emulsion. We can have water in oil emulsion or oil in water emulsion. Water in oil emulsion means oil is a continuous phase, right? Oil in water means water is a continuous phase. So, go back here. If we have water droplet in oil continuous phase, so this picture is water in oil emulsion. Alright? We can do the test by use filter paper. Okay. If we use filter paper, I drop the emulsion on. If it is water in oil, oil is the continuous phase. Filter paper may not wet much, okay, because water can get wet with water better, faster. If it is oil water, it may wet immediately and spread very quick. Okay, that's one way to test if it's oil in water or water in oil. Or we can use filter paper saturated with 20% cobaltous chloride solution and dry before the test. So if we use some kind of special kind of paper, we drop one droplet of emulsion on. Area around the drop may just turn bit pink, and that shows us that it is oil water emulsion. Or it may just remain blue. So if it is blue, do nothing is water in oil. Okay? That's the second way to test it. Water in oil emulsion are generally produced by emulsifying agents that are more soluble in oil than water phase. Okay? When we have emulsion, this means there's emulsifier that make the two phase to form emulsion. Or if water phase and oil phase, they have very similar density, what do you think happens if it have very similar density? When you shake, it creates a droplet, right? If it have similar density. When we have the droplet doesn't separate because it has the same density, it cannot separate. Okay? The settling velocity is dependent upon the difference in specific gravity, right? If the specific gravity is the same, it doesn't change. So it can have emulsion because the density is the same. So condition to have emulsion can be two mutually miscible liquid, and we have some kind of agitation mixing. Where do we have this kind of agitation? Daniel G. Martinez. Daniel G. Martinez. Where do we have mixing? Is there someone stay in the pipe and mix it somehow?
I guess like around pumps and stuff.
Around pump, yes. If we have pump, we can have mixing. What about choke? Is it some kind of mixing? Okay, what happens when we have choke? Let's say we have some kind of restriction in the pipe. There's some kind of restriction in the pipe. We have liquid flow. We have some restriction. When it flows something like this, it forms a jet, right? And what happened in this corner? It have vortices, right? Some circulating motion mixing like that. So this kind of thing create emulsion. Any kind of restriction of the flow can create swirling motion and create emulsion. Okay? Anything that obstructs the flow. If we have choke, pump, valve, it can cause emulsion. If we flow slow, it's less chance that it makes, right? But if we flow fast, yes, that will be worse. Okay. Most of the time, if we have ultrafiltrate, that's for gas. We don't have any concern for emulsion, right? It's just gas. Okay. But if we have separator, inlet diverter, it hit the, when fluid comes, it hit the inlet diverter, right? Whenever there's a restriction, it can create some kind of mixing and form more emulsion. In the lab, you may see some small droplet happen when it hit the inlet diverter. Okay, so most of the time it's at the pump. Okay, but when fluid reach the pump, we already separate oil from water and water from oil already. So when it reach the pump, like pump at the lag unit, we don't have the emulsion. Okay? Most of the time when it reach the pump, we don't have emulsion. Like if we want to pump water to disposal well, it's just water. It doesn't have emulsion. Okay. But if we have oil and water enter the pump at the same time, it's very likely to have emulsion. Okay. Emulsifying agent, stabilizer, we can have asphaltene, resin, organic acid, bases. Asphaltene is a big polar component. Okay, it can deposit on the pipe wall and it can create emulsion. Okay, artificial surface active agent like drilling fluid, any chemical, corrosion inhibitor, scale inhibitor, asphaltene control agent, any chemical that we add in. Let's say I add a corrosion inhibitor. Okay, I don't have corrosion problem, but I may have emulsion problem. Okay, we go away from one problem, but we may have another problem. I don't want asphaltene. I put asphaltene control agent in it. I may just have emulsion problem later by putting this in. Okay. Finely defined solid. Okay, wetted on both oil and water phase. So if we have small clay particle, sand, silt, asphaltene, waxes, corrosion product, any particle that is very small, what happens is it wet on both oil and water. When it wet on both oil and water, it makes them kind of mix together. It become this part, emulsifier. So let's say we have surfactant. So we have negative charge go to water and positive charge move away from water. So that is if we have some kind of emulsifying agent. So if we have sand can get wet by both phases, right? We can have emulsion. Okay? Agitation is choke, valve, pump, turbulence in any part, right? So One big thing with emulsion is viscosity go up exponentially. Okay? Viscosity go up very fast. That is the main problem with emulsion. It is not linear. If you take a look at this, let's say my oil viscosity is about 10. Okay, let's say it's about 10. Water viscosity is about 1 centipoid. So the mixture between oil and water, the viscosity is not between 10 and 1. It go up like this, very quick. Okay? So if I add water which have less viscosity than oil into oil phase, the viscosity is not the average viscosity. No, it's not like that. So water is viscosity of 1, oil is viscosity of 10. I add water into oil, viscosity go up when it form emulsion. And it go up exponentially or based on this equation. Viscosity of mixture will be viscosity of the continuous phase multiplied by 1 minus the dispersed phase fraction. Okay? When I plot that, when I plot this equation, I get the increase of viscosity. Tolani, can you come up and give them the quiz? I don't do it yet, okay? We will just give them the quiz, yes. So we do it in a little bit middle to make sure that everyone is here. And how about you write the name on the back and try to spread around. Okay, try to spread around. Mr. Zulai, could you please help me with that? Perhaps spread around. Don't sit next to another student, okay? Have one seat apart. Have one seat apart. And don't open it yet. Write your name in the back. And after you finish that, we will go back to emulsion page. And this time, we should not have the problem of someone come late and didn't do the quiz, right? Please raise your hand if you don't get it yet. Okay. How many of you? Everyone write the name on the back. Yes? Okay, let's start. It will be 10 minutes. I give you 20 seconds extra. So we will end at 11:40. Okay, we end at 11:40.
That's 4 part. And tell me how much is C1? That's fine. I have calculator.
We drop two lowest quiz score on homework. Okay. So if you cannot do this one, don't withdraw from this class. Stay. I'll try to make an easier one next time.
When you submit paper, did you have your name?
have about 30 something seconds left. Okay. Twenty-five seconds left. Ten, nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Stop. Stand up. For those who haven't done finish here, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stop writing. Stop writing. And who haven't submitted yet? How about you? Who else haven't submitted yet? Just 1, 2, 3. Who haven't submitted yet? Do you have this from every one of you? Okay. Let's so look at this. Number 1, write the chemical structure. This is good, right? That's good, because I just talked about it. You haven't submitted yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, you said writing, so I thought you meant like actually writing like C2H6O2 instead of raw.
Any of that, do you have structure? If you say OH, line, CH2, another line, CH2, another line, and OH, that's chemical structure. Right, chemical structure. That's just a formula, it doesn't tell the structure. So, okay. What should I give Daniel? 1. Just one of you that want to give him 1 or 0? Can I give you 1? Give you 1. Right. But chemical structure is not the same as the formula. Structure has to tell how does it work. Okay, look at this. From gas law, PV equal to Z nRT, the actual gas flow rate Q in the unit of cubic foot per hour can be calculated from the standard flow rate Qg in the unit of SCFD as Q equal to C1 Tz over P Qg, where T is the actual temperature in Rankine, Z is the compressibility factor at the actual temperature and pressure, P is the actual pressure in the unit of PSIA, Q is the actual flow rate in cubic foot per hour, defined at the actual temperature and pressure. The standard condition is defined to be at 14.73 PSIA and 660 Fahrenheit. Show the derivation of the above equation starting from that gas law given above. So how do we get from there to here? Right? Good. Who did it right? How many of you did it? You did it right? Come here. You did it right, come here. I look at V equal to Z nRT. Okay, that's fine. What is V equal to Q over A? What's that? What's that about? That V equal to Q over A is velocity equal to flow rate divided by A. But that V is volume. You cannot do this to me when you are a senior student, okay? That one is volume, but this one is velocity. Okay? And then A equal to something, 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 something. Of course, you memorize this, right? Yeah, that's, I hope it's correct. And then I have, what, 180? C1 equal to 180, is that correct? That's correct. Okay, so 180 is correct, but this part is not right. This is not how I do the derivation from there. Is that how you did it? No, okay. Is this 0? 5? You don't need the area at all. What is this telling me? That person don't know that it's different V. That's all right. Just that. Oh, okay. I'll show you my derivation. Thank you for coming. I'll show you my derivation. Because my derivation is this. Okay, look at this. If I write, I want to convert from like Q to that capital Q. This part, okay, doesn't have anything to do with this line. Good. This line doesn't have anything to do with this line. You understand that? Right? So the way I get this is P V equal to Z N R T. At the standard condition, I call it T reference. Z at the standard condition is 1, right? So this gone, that's 1. V as the standard condition, P as standard condition is 14.73 psia. So I rearrange it. I have V at standard condition at the reference equal to N R T at the reference divided by pressure at the reference. So I have this equation, right? Good. That's the first equation. Second equation that I would get is volume at the actual condition will be N at the actual condition multiplied by R multiplied by T at the actual condition divided by pressure at the actual condition. So everything here is at the actual condition. Actual. Good. Everything that is at the actual condition. So I call that V1. Okay. I take the ratio between volume at the actual condition and volume at the standard condition. Then I get V1 over VR equal to, okay, I have Z nRT, Z nRT over P at the actual condition, actual multiplied by Z nRT again divided by P, but that raised to the power of -1, right? I compare the ratio between the volume at the actual condition and volume at the standard condition. So at the standard condition, V equal to 1, that mass or that mole cancel with that mole, it is the same. Okay? It's just gas just expand, right? Make sense? R is the same. Okay. So at the end I have Z T over P multiplied by T over P but raised to the power of minus 1, which is this equation. That's how I get that equation. Any one of you show this derivation. The ratio and do this. Okay. How many of you use this one? Come on, admit it. How many of you use velocity or velocity equal to Q over G? Did you ever use that? At least one of you, because I have seen it in that. At least one of you do it. And I think I have seen more than once. Okay. Sometimes I get this. Let me show you what I got. I don't quite like it. Oh, not can. What's this? It's too long. I don't like this much, okay? But yeah. Corner black. Where are you at? Where's corner black? Corner black. Okay. If we have exactly the same quiz, will you get 10 next time? You want to draw or something?
Wait, that was him?
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. You will get 10 next time. Absolutely get 10, right? If you put V equal to Q over A, it's not relevant, but at least it's on the same slide, right? But you put all this. And okay, you won't get 0.327, you get something else, because the volumetric flow rate that I want to get is not that unit. Okay, this has to be correct. And what do you want me to do with that? Trash it and quiz you again, or give 10?
10.
No, I can't give you 10. I can't give you 10. There's good reason why we excuse to lowest score, because eventually maybe 2 times, I expect about 2 times that everyone will get 0. It's normal. Last year we had that too, but they didn't drop the class. Some 50% get A, so you should be fine, okay? Don't worry about it too much. We will have it again. We will have it again. It will look just like that, okay? And this time, you will do it right. If you don't do it right, I'll give you 0. Okay? Maybe you consider withdraw from class if we have the same thing again and you cannot do it, okay?